So to finish this project, I'd like to add some kind of flames that would come out of the suns to make it a bit more appealing. Right now it's a bit of a boring yellow sphere, so what we can do is make some space first. And here, let's look for some particles and start to have fun with those. I've created some sun particles and I'll talk to you about this a bit later. Okay, so here we go. As you can see, this looks horrible. It doesn't really look like exactly what we want. Let me just put this inside of the sun and show you how to make this look a lot better in just a few clicks. So if you inspect the particle, you will see that there are actually quite a lot of things that you can play with. And the very first thing we want to do is to change the size, because look, once again, we've got a 1 meter square basically for each particle. So it is way too much. We need to reduce this by quite a lot. So let me actually put this at, yeah, let's say 0.3 like this. I'm gonna color this in yellow and zoom in on my sun. So the problem we have right now is that the linear velocity is just too much as well. So what we can do here is to put at 0.2, for example. And you can see already how this is a little bit more manageable. So I want to make sure that the particles are right in the middle, 0, 0, and 0, like this. Okay. And finally, so let's just actually make them even smaller. And you can see how, if you look at the top here, the emitting shape is a point. I'm going to change this into a sphere, like our sun here, and the shape radius is going to be much smaller. I'm going to put this at 13 like this. And that is not too bad. So one last thing I want to show you is that you can create particle systems. So let me just go back in here and show you how you can create particle systems in a different file. So if you look for a particle, and you can now create a SceneKit particle system file, click next, and we'll create some fire. Let's just say fire like this. And as you can see, we have our fire here that we can, exactly the same way as we did before, modify what it looks like, the birth rate, the shape. So here it's coming from a plane, as you can see. If you rotate, you can see that it's a plane. What I'm very interested in is actually just this little spark here that Apple gives us. So if I put this now inside of my arts.scn assets, so I invite you to play with this quite a lot. I'm just going to delete it and move to trash and really just keep that spark basically that I'm going to reuse in here. So the image here is going to be the spark. And now it looks even better. Good. Actually, you know, we could maybe change the color of this. Not sure. Let's just keep it like that for now. And then the birth rate. So if you want to create a lot more like this, you can. If you want to, well, play a lot with all of these things. So here that the linear velocity is obviously, I think, still a bit too much. Maybe like that. And the lifespan, so each particle will now live for about 2 seconds, which means that they will go a bit further. Unless I said they have less velocity. It really takes time to understand particle systems, and I think you need to create quite a few of those to really understand how they work and how powerful they can be actually. So this is enough, I think, for our sun. What we can do now is to create some stars around as well. So I'm going to add another particle system. I'm going to put directly in the solar system here. Once again, it's way too big and too much at the same time. So let me just put actually something like 30 with the lifespan of 10 and actually 0 velocity. I'm still going to use the spark. Size is going to be much smaller. However, we're going to take that sphere and make it way bigger. And each particle now is going to appear at the surface of that sphere, the big sphere that we just created. So actually, let's just make the stars white and give you more space so you can see. So we have lots of stars everywhere now, but they will be outside. So let me just, if I zoom out, you'll probably understand. So these will only appear at the surface of the shape that we created here. So the sphere, which is 18 meters of radius, very, very large sphere. But if I change from surface here to the volume, now the particles are going to be created inside of the sphere, everywhere inside of the volume of the sphere. And you can see how now we can understand depth a lot better, because some particles are closer and some particles are a bit further. Okay, so let's run this on the phone and see how it looks, and then that will conclude this part of the tutorial for the solar system, and I will now do everything in code as well. Okay, so here we go. We've got our sun, and if you look around, you can see as well quite a lot of stars, a little bit everywhere. Planets do have some lights and shading. This one is very far, 12 meters away. Obviously there's a wall there, but feel free to observe this where you have a lot of space, so you can appreciate how really big we made Saturn. Okay, so that's it for this session. See you in the next lecture where we can start building everything again with code.